What's up, everyone? Thanks for stopping by my channel, Yoga with April. If you haven't done so already and you kind of like the vibe of my page and my videos, go ahead and subscribe, comment, like, share with all your homies, do all the good things. This video is going to be fairly fast, or fairly quick rather. I really just felt inspired to take a moment to break down what the Vinyasa is within your Vinyasa yoga practice. So typically you see that high to low plank. Really all I wanted to do was break that down briefly for you and also show you 1, 2, 3 different variations of your Vinyasa level that you can kind of intertwine within your practice. So giving you a fair chance to build up the strength to go within deeper levels of your Vinyasa until you're kind of at the point where you can lower down halfway, elbows super close, nice strong core helping you find that space, and then finding a breath to lift you out into your upward facing dog. So with that being said, what we'll do here, I will demonstrate the 3 Vinyasas that I go over with all my students in person and online. So it really it would be helpful to understand where you are within your plank poses. So if you're in a plank pose and this is just a lot of work, which is fair and okay to have this challenge, right? But if this is a lot of work and you're really compromising, your shoulders sinking in, your hips sinking super low, like if you can't keep the integrity of this plank pose, I always say drop the knees. So drop the knees within this plank pose because you're just finding a plank pose that helps you feel strong. And when you feel strong, you just build off that strength for more intense plank poses. Now notice the big difference here. This is a plank pose variation that you can always bring into your practice, but it's not a tabletop pose, right? So my hips and knees aren't stacked directly above one another. Rather, my knees are stepping back and my hips are dipping down a little bit lower. You want to have this variation with your knees dropped, so you're actually working your abdomen, your abdominals here. Now, let's say you have been in this plank pose and you're pretty comfortable, you can kind of sway around, you're finding more ease than effort, and it's kind of time to level up where you see yourself from here. Easy. All you have to do here is cross the ankles, bring the heels close towards the glute, and that's going to add some more awareness within the core, and that's going to require you to kind of push a little bit further, building up the triceps, the biceps, and also the shoulder strength that you need. When you're ready, you can always find that plank pose where your knees are lifted off the mat, you drive your heels back, you dome through the shoulders, push into the L's of your hands, and find that wrapping motion of the triceps. Understanding which plank pose you are at, where you do have some ease, so you're finding some breath, you're able to hold some time there, but it's still work. You're still building some strength while you're within that plank pose, will help you know what Vinyasa makes most sense for you in your current journey where you are within your practice. So I'm gonna go from level 1 to 3 of the plank poses and speak to the Vinyasa here with the high to low planks as we find our lowers. So let's say you are here, knees are bent, feet are on the mat, you're finding that plank pose, not a tabletop pose, and you have a nice active core. If this is where you are within your plank poses, this is where you are within your Vinyasas. So finding a breath to movement here, you're gonna find a big breath in, and as you exhale, you lower halfway down. Start creating a shelf with your triceps. Keep your elbows super, super close to your ribs. Make sure you're not kind of hunching in, you're trying to lead with your chest here as well. So this is during your exhale, you find that slow lower. When you're ready for a breath in, you pull yourself through, gaze up towards the sky, find your upward facing dog. That's level 1. Now that level 2, it's still that variation with the knees on the ground, but your heels are lifted. Same but different, right? So you find that big breath in, set up. As you exhale, you lower halfway down. Also, side note, the slower lower that you find, so the more resistance you find, the more strength that you build. So think of being nice and slow with your lowers. Find your breath in, uncross the ankles, push the tops of your feet into the mat, find that upward facing dog. Oh, I gotta take a breather here myself because we is working. Okay, so one more here too. So with your Vinyasa, again, if you're in that plank pose where your knees are lifted, you're nice and strong, you have a good, feeling activation through the fingertips, you're here, you're ready, find a big breath in. Now this is where the work comes in, right? You shift the shoulders forward a little bit here. Lower about halfway down, elbows are super, super close towards your sides. Create that shelf-like with the triceps. And then find that breath in, pull yourself through, upward facing dog. Notice my thighs are lifted. They have been lifted every single time. That's the difference between cobra, and up dog. And then of course, these all bring you back to that downward facing dog, shifting some weight off of the torso into the lower half. And I think that's all I got today, my friends. But I'll be back.